Dark comets come in different varieties, and it could have implications for life on Earth. So often when we think we understand something, another thing comes along that forces us to pause, reconsider, and broaden our minds to encompass these new and fascinating pieces of information. Take, for example, space rocks. We thought we had them all neatly categorized. Comets are chunks of rock filled with ices that sublimate when they are warm, spewing long tails of gases into space. Asteroids are less icy chunks of rock, and metal that just hangs out being less icy chunks of rock and metal. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, then scientists had to go and discover dark comets, comets that look like an asteroid but behave like a comet. The identity of these objects was unveiled in 2023, with first one dark comet, then 6 more. Now an international team of astronomers has unmasked another 7, doubling the number and bringing the total to known to be 14. This new data reveals that not even all dark comets are the same. There are at least 2 different kinds. And in turn, the discovery of multiple kinds of dark comets could tell us more about how Earth was made habitable for life. We report detections of 7 dark comets, which demonstrate that there are 2 distinct populations based on their orbits and sizes, writes a team of researchers led by astrophysicist Daryl Seligman of Michigan State University. These objects represent a class of solar system objects that may have delivered material to the Earth necessary for the development of life, such as volatiles and organics. One effect of cometary outgassing is that it changes the comet's motion. Actually, there are a number of mechanisms that can accelerate a space rock. There's orbital acceleration that can change as the rock's proximity to the sun changes. There's the Yarkovsky effect too, a change in rotation produced by contrast in light and temperature. Because dark comets don't have tails that we can detect, the smoking gun that there's more going on than in the normal asteroid is acceleration. When you see that kind of perturbation on a celestial object, it usually means it's a comet, with volatile material outgassing from its surface, giving it a little thrust, says astronomer David Farnocchia of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Although we can't see what these dark comets are outgassing, their acceleration cannot be explained by gravity or Yarkovsky effect. What do we have now is a sufficient quantity of dark comets to try and draw some statistical inferences. We had a big enough number of dark comets that we could begin asking if there was anything that would differentiate them, Seligman says. By analyzing the reflectivity and the orbits, we found that our solar system contains 2 different types of dark comets. One kind inhabits the inner solar system inside the orbit of Mars. They tend to be on the smaller side, below around a few tens of meters, and their orbits around the sun are quite circular and neat. The other kind is a bit more chaotic. Their orbits are highly elliptical, traveling out nearly as far as Jupiter and closer to the sun than Mercury. They are also larger in the inner darker comets, reaching sizes up to hundreds of meters across. There's still a lot we don't know about these enigmatic rocks. Do they contain ice, or are they releasing something else that causes them to accelerate oddly? Why are there 2 different populations, and how many are there? A recent paper found that there could be way more dark comets than we know hanging out in the inner solar system, which has implications for Earth defense since we rely on accurate orbital modeling to calculate whether an asteroid constitutes a threat. Since anomalous acceleration can alter a space rock's orbit, we need to factor that information to determine if a rock was potentially hazardous. But the discovery of these weirdo rocks is very new, and the volume of what we don't know about them is far larger than what we do know. And figuring out what they are, where they come from, and how numerous they are is undoubtedly going to be a subject of future work. especially since they have implications for our own existence. Dark comets are a new potential source of having delivered the materials to Earth that were necessary for the development of life, Seligman says. The more we can learn about them, the better we can understand their role in our planet's origin. And this was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences and by Michelle Starr on Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.